Hi, it's John from Crafts by John UK, and today it's a show and tell. I'm going to be talking about this card I made. This is a Christmas card, obviously, with a cute polar bear jumping for joy in his lovely green sweater. And I've used this joy sentiment. This is a two-part die set, which I've got here, something I found in my stash that I'd never used. And I just love these kind of dies where you get a background piece and a foreground, so you can then fiddle with the colours. So you can see here I've used a white neutral for the background and then just a kind of a mid green for the foreground. I created the background myself, so this is a kind of smushed using a jelly plate, which is one of the things I love to do in my style. If you watch the other videos, you'll know that. But I used just a couple of colours of distress inks, distress oxides in fact, on that background, a green and two different shades of green actually, I think it was, and just sort of smushed, got my nice layers, got my nice depth in terms of tone. And then I've stamped this polar bear from a free set that I got in a magazine, and I've coloured him in using pro markers so that I've actually got some quite nice bright colour. And then I've just put the joy on that I cut with the die, and just some very simple green kind of matching washi tape. I've then used some basic pinstripe card in the background just to give it a bit of interest. But I quite like the layout of this because we're leaving the space, so we're not filling all the space, we're not dirtying edges, we're not doing all the normal stuff that we do to create focal points and create depth. In this card we've just said this is what it is basically. So we've got our cute polar bear, I think he's kind of jumping for joy. We've got the joy sentiment, and then we've got our ribbon. So in terms of the background, I could have put this on a darker green, or I could have put this on black, which would have worked either way because obviously he's stamped in black. But I just decided to actually do this green pinstriped card, which I quite liked. And that's on a tall DL card blank. So that's a 9 by 20 centimetres. I created this design. I liked it so much that I actually made, I think, 5 of them. So I've got lots of these. They will go into my stash for Christmas. I tend to make my Christmas cards as I go through the year. I try and make a few each month because I have to make about 100. They're only for my own use. I used to sell them commercially, actually. I used to make 400 cards, but I don't sell anymore. But anyway, these are just for my own use. So this is a design and a layout that I really liked, mainly inspired by the fact that I found this joy stamp, the sentiment. Oh God, I can't get my words out today. This joy die set. So anyway, cutting that was a joy, and obviously that kind of inspired the card. But I really started just with the jelly plate and some inks and just had a play, like this background effect, made a couple of sheets of A4, cut it down, and then that's how we've ended up with the cards we've ended up with. So that's my little show and tell story about this card and this layout. You can see this is quite simple. You could do something yourself like this really with any figure, any sentiment in the middle, any washi tape, any kind of background. It's just a very simple layout, but you know, it's a nice card. If I received that through the post, I'd be quite glad when I open that and think that there's a lot of effort gone into it. So that's today's video. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. There's lots of videos on there. Show and tell is something I do every now and then, where I'll actually talk you through a card that's made, and just give you a little explanation really about the process. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed that. It's an under 5-minute video, so this is one of the quicker ones, but lots on my channel obviously of whole card making and just different techniques. If you want to see how I did this background, there are videos on there about smooshing, jelly plates, spritzing with water, all sorts of stuff. So if you want to go and have a look, you can find that information if you want. Anyway, thanks, and I enjoyed talking to you today, and I'll speak to you in a future video.